Legacy going to be starting off on the attack again.
Can Legacy win one of the next 2 maps? Will they, is the question, Jordan.
My answer is no.
For both or for the second one?
Can they? No. Will they? No.
Right. Legacy, I have faith that you can pick up one of these next 2 maps.
Well, I'm glad you have faith. Maybe it'd be a special birthday treat.
Well, it'd be good for them.
Best of luck for Legacy, I guess.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it happening. Blank have looked on point today. And Morton, just a cheeky little tickle there. Nets him 30% of his ult charge immediately.
Yeah.
Or always nice to see the Primal Rage coming up early. Although, you could argue Legacy have gotten some pretty considerable positioning without taking too much damage.
They have managed to find themselves quite a lot of ground, and now they are on to the first objective. But it's very difficult here for Fundray to really block any of this damage because it's coming from all sides, and that Tesla cannon makes quick work of Reinhardt's shield, of course, but they're already up to 50% here, Jordan. Yeah,
Blank just wants to play slow until that Primal Rage comes up here for Morton. Then they can really commit to the fight, but they've already lost Roro. Some work still to be done here for Blank. It looks like Legacy will cap this out now.
They're looking good. Legacy putting themselves in a position to win. This is all they can do, Jordan. One fight at a time.
I think Legacy's, Blank forced themselves into an awkward position there with Winston. They really weren't able to get much value out of it. And by the time Legacy was on the point, like, they couldn't really commit to that fight because they didn't have a Reinhardt.
Now the Primal Rage is available along with the Transcendence here for Blank. Morton probably going to try and make the most of his health pool until that comes through. But someone's going to have to contest the point. At all from either team. There we go. The contest comes through. Self-destruct with the grab as well from Blank. A lot being thrown into this fight by them. Legacy, on the other hand, they're stacking 3 right now, so they're in a reasonable spot coming to this.
That's a bit of an interesting fight because Blank used both of, well, one of their support ultimates. Legacy used both of theirs. So Legacy don't have any support ultimates for this fight, but in the same respect, Blank doesn't really have any offensive ults.
Yeah, if they're quick enough, Kura won't get this sound barrier as well. So if they pick Kura
if they
quickly,
get a grab, if Blank gets a good grab.
But they are definitely running out of time to make that happen. This is a prime opportunity. This is a prime timing attack here for Legacy to get onto the point. There's the grab. Needs to follow it up. Self-destruct. Kura won't be able to get this out in time. Morton and Kura both go down. No sound barrier available. Looking for that second tick ever closer. There we go, 66%. Kura now respawns, can get onto the point. The rest of the team will be there. And this sound barrier should be enough to keep half of them alive. But the question is, I don't know if Blank's going to have enough here, Jordan.
I don't think so either. What a weird fight. What a weird round this has been so far. And Legacy actually do cap it out very quickly indeed. Blank, well, they won't be too pleased by that at all. The first point, and then that first fight on the second point put them in a really weird position, economically speaking, as far as the ults were concerned. And then Legacy just took advantage of it.
There were 2 things there. If you were watching Overwatch League this morning, or last night, I suppose, depending where you live, but it was only a few hours ago for us here. I guess it was only a few hours ago for everyone. Anyway, the point is, irrespective of your time zone, there was a lot of talk about making fights last long enough to get ultimates through. And we saw both on the first and second objective then Blank were attempting to do that, and on both occasions, first the Primal Rage was late, and then the sound barrier as well. In both of those occasions, if they managed to last long enough to get each of those ultimates out, the fights probably would have been very different. But this time around, it was not the case, and as a result, 4 minutes 57. Look, that's a ton of time here for Legacy, considering who they're up against.
Yeah, definitely looking good right now for Legacy. This is their best chance thus far. In fact, that's the first time they've actually capped a point at all this series, Ben.
Yeah.
Didn't get anything on King's Row. They lost 2-0 on Lijiang Tower, and now they capped 2 on Horizon Lunar Colony in, what, like less than 5 minutes? So, that's a lot better from Legacy, but now we have to see how they defend. Again, we've got Rani onto the Ana, which is more or less what we saw on the defense of King's Row as well. And that worked okay. It actually was working pretty well until the shield bash onto Noosh with the EMP. That's sort of what swung it back in the favor of Blank. But Legacy looked okay. You could maybe argue that they maybe got a bit unlucky there on Kings Row, and it should have potentially been closer than it was.
Maybe indeed.
We'll see how they go here on Horizon Lunar Colony. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch. Legacy have not won this yet.
Yeah, let's not count our moon chickens, that's for sure. Already?
Oh, no.
Always leave yourself a basket.
And we're back inside. Taking up a little bit of time. Don't shake your head, mate. It's your favorite part of the whole broadcast.
You're actually such a moron.
If you're outside, you can't hear anything in space. There's no air.
Blank's on the point. Nox has gotten runny, so this is not a great start
well,
for
it's Legacy on the point. But yeah, that's you're right, Elfishguy, you're right. So they're going to try and capture this one up. Legacy contesting. Only just Stolen Picnic going to go down to Kura. And it's going to be tough for Legacy to bring this back here. So the first point will go across to Blank and do so pretty quickly.
Yeah. And the fact that they're able to win it that quickly and cleanly as well does mean now they have a good assortment of ultimates to utilize, where Legacy may be lacking a little bit in that department. Mo does almost have trance, which is great, but Stolen Picnic, no sound barrier. And when we look at what Blank has got to play with here, they almost... Well, they should have 6 ultimates in this next fight. So
yeah,
how are you going to sustain through 6 ultimates as Legacy right now with only 1 support ultimate? I don't see it happening. Noosh, so close to the EMP, might be able to salvage this one, might be able to save it if he gets the EMP off early.
Well, the grab will come out very quickly here from Ike. They need to follow it up with damage. However,
Good
EMP, there it is, Jordan. Again, no damage from Legacy, really. Even though they're getting, you know, they're hitting all of the targets they need to hit, they're not finding picks. Blank still with 6 players alive, 3 ultimates up as well. Mo onto the Transcendence. You can see the Nano Boost comes out. Also sound barrier here for Blank. And now only 1 ultimate remains. That's Modern's Earth Shatter.
Self-destruct is there for Blank as well to provide the space that they need, should they need it. Well, actually is going to have a bit of a nap right now, but it doesn't seem like it's going to matter for Blank. Nox pushing on forward, 99% of his energy charged up. Noosh won't last too much longer, and for Legacy now, it's a case of stalling out as long as possible, because Blank might finish this faster than Legacy did.
They will indeed. 2 very quick times, but Blank's just that little bit quicker. I think about a minute quicker. We'll have
about 30
seconds actually, yeah.
Yeah.
When the time ticks up instead of down, you know you've done pretty well. Oh, well, back to the beginning. Why do we even play the first round?
So, I think for Blank, what we need to keep an eye out on here is what they're going to change up on their defense. Do they keep the Winston on the defense? And if they do they allow, or do they enable even Morton to play a little bit more aggressively to try and charge that Primal Rage up a bit earlier? Because it felt like he didn't charge it quickly enough. And if he would have been on the Reinhardt, it would have been easier for Blank to try to recontest onto the point.
Well, we saw it on Volskaya, right? This is where last week we saw a lot of Winston on the first defensive point. They come through, everyone's pushing through on attack behind a Reinhardt shield. Winston's just sort of falling back, holding down left click, charging up the Primal Rage. And every time someone did it on Volskaya, on defense, it seemed to work. Is it just a difference here on Horizon in the way that the map plays out? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, Ben, but
we'll get another attempt.
Yeah.
Get another chance to see it, I suppose.
Again, it's just going to be the same stuff on the attack and defense. Actually, I think Noosh was playing Sombra.
Yes.
On the initial attack.
I believe you're correct.
So that is a bit of a change up from Legacy. Where is Morton? What's he going to be doing? Again, just playing around the corner here, trying to charge up as much as possible. Gets shield bashed in the face and has to back away. So this time he has even less ult charge than last. So which means Blank need to be really careful that they don't lose a player early on here, and they look like they will.
Oh, Kura.
Yeah.
The first one down here. Also, Modern very low, considering how much health he starts with. And Legacy onto the point. So far, so good for them. It seems to be playing out almost exactly the same as it did the first time around. Elfishguy up to 85%. Modern.
Oh, they give it up.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, that's a bad move from Blank. They might have done it a little bit too late. Fundray charging on in there. This could be really bad for Blank.
Until Fundray goes down.
Until Fundray goes down. A little bit over-eager there, perhaps, from him. Oh, well, I think Legacy, they had an opportunity there to really just cap it out straight away again.
The potential was there.
One thing I'll point out for you is your phone is listening to us cast.
Hey Siri, how much healthy starts with unlike on Twitter? Yeah, okay, thanks, mate.
We'll just put that one on Twitter later as well.
Yeah. I don't know what it is that I say that sets it off. Anyway, stop listening to me, Siri. This time, Legacy back onto the point. Still 4 minutes remaining here, Jordan. That's pretty impressive, but Blanca's sitting on a ton of ultimates to work with, and Legacy only have Mo. But, well, I say that they get Ike and Noosh back up, and they've already been gifted 75% of the point here. That's quite impressive. Blank throwing absolutely everything they've got into it, but it's Legacy's limited ultimates that seem to be getting them across the line. The sound barrier this time will come up with people still on the point, but the Blank players are going down one by one. Roro jumps on, as does the Hammond. But look at all of the picks Legacy are getting. This is incredible.
Yeah, this is, I mean, this is kind of going back to like Season 2, where we always saw overtimes on Horizon Lunar Colony, and then even in some cases triple or quadruple overtimes. This one looks like it might be triple overtime, I guess assuming that Blank can actually finish it off once again, but their attack was pretty good initially. No one seems to be able to defend.
That's peculiar. 3:25 still remaining. What they had about 5 minutes the first time, so they really had 5.5 minutes if you add the extra 30 seconds on. So nice work.
Couple of
2
minutes.
minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That means they've still got another 1.5 attacks before they run
they
out of
could
time.
go again because they get another 30 seconds every time around. You only go 3 times though, right?
I think you just go until you run out of time.
Forever and ever. I thought it was like last attempt. Maybe.
Honestly, I haven't actually casted an overtime that's gone that long, so I don't know.
Wow.
Someone in chat will know.
You're supposed to be an expert on this, Jordan.
Well,
that's why you're here.
Yeah.
How embarrassed. It's okay. For Blank, I'm not sure how they're feeling right about now. I certainly would think that the third time around, surely they're not going to play Winston defense on Objective A. Surely that won't be the case. Legacy's certainly not doing that.
No. But what good did it do for Legacy in their last defense as well, to be fair?
So they are now on Reinhardt. A Blank going to go outside once again. Nope, they're going to go high ground. No, oh, outside. Just joking, guys.
Well, Blank do like to play very slowly, don't they?
Yeah.
On this attack. I'm going to back away. What are they going to swap off to here? They're not fancying the Goats comp anymore.
Well, they're getting rid of the time advantage that they had. And, well, no Ana here to deal with the Farah. Roro going to have a bit of free reign, potentially.
Well, that is one big difference, right?
And not straight onto the point as well. So potential here to contest, and will immediately start contesting. And it's Roro up on the Farah, as we were talking of. Free damage here on to Legacy. And we'll see how far they can take this one. Are they going to be able to find that first tick? You can see a lot of damage actually has gone down across the board here on Legacy. Blank now in prime position for the first objective.
Yeah, very quickly taken as well. And it's just going to be a bit of a feed here from Legacy if they try to recontest. Sure, it might get 10 or 15 seconds, but I'm not sure that it's worth it when it gives Blank all these ultimates to use on point B. And it's good that you mentioned that they don't have the Ana, because I think that's what Blank recognized as well. They sort of went out, they scouted around a bit, they saw the Brigitte, and they said, hey, this is a free opportunity to use the Farah to really prime ability.
Yep. And we know that they are yet really to deal with Roro, right? That's any time that they've got this standard Goats.
Well, you want to see Legacy
to work with.
Try and hang on here until they get those support ults up, but EMP might not give them that chance.
4 players hit by the EMP, and the Rocket Barrage coming through from Roro, essentially
97% on Stolen. Might be too late here with the sound barrier. Everyone's dead. Stolen Picnic's on his own.
Stolen Picnic with the solo sound barrier, essentially. And, well, Round 4 complete, Elfishguy. We're going to be here all day.
Blank actually still had a slight time advantage there. I think about 9 seconds. I think they finished it with 3:34. Let's see. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess you could argue Legacy have caught up a little bit there. Favorable lap for them, if we're going to go with the racing analogies.
Well, let's go again.
We go again.
Back where we started once more. I feel like we're in one of those time-traveling TV shows, Jordan, where you get halfway through the episode and they're back at the start and only a little bit's changed. And it's like Groundhog Day, except not. Anyway, I do like those episodes, though. They are my favorite.
Yeah. So this is where I want to see Blank do something different, because Legacy have obviously shown the aptitude twice now to pretty comfortably beat Blank on when Legacy's on the attack, when Blank is on Goats Comp or Winston Goats Comp. So this, I think, is a good adaptation from Blank. They've decided, okay, what we're doing isn't necessarily working. Maybe we're not executing it correctly. Maybe we need to go back and look at our positioning or decision-making or what have you. We can obviously employ that later, but for now, let's just go back to the tried and true, back to what we know.
Look at this lineup. Like, literally...
Quad DPS.
Yeah. This is either going to work really well or it's not.
Well, the thing is, Morton is fairly self-sufficient in this lineup. So too is Noz, so too is Nox. So really, all that the Mercy needs to focus on is Roro and Tung. Legacy spot out the info there. Ike will go back and swap. It's going to be standard Goats. Roro hiding in the corner.
Yeah, and now they will notice the Farah as well. Mo has swapped across to the Ana.
It's not standard Goats actually for Legacy.
Yeah.
I said it.
Well, it was for like half a second. And they decided better of it. Actually changed up quite considerably now. So decisions have been made. We've spent about a minute jostling around, changing up our players. Oh,
what?
Wow.
I would have loved to have seen that from Tung's perspective.
Yeah. Straight onto Ike. Deleted there. Ike's like, well, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah. Try and take that 1v1 Angel in a different manner.
So we are certainly eating up a lot of time here. And
that's the important thing, isn't it? Really, if we go through to another overtime, if you can get it
See you later,
little
Ike.
time left.
Ike is not having much fun up against this Widowmaker, that's for sure.
Well, maybe this is the adaptation that Blank needed to make a little bit earlier. Tung is absolutely slaying Legacy right now. Look at how scared they are.
Noel's going to go down to Ike. That's a decent pick as well. So now this is the fight I think they want to try and contest with. Nox goes down as well. So Legacy finally seem to get the better of Blank here. Yes, Blank have used up quite a bit of time, but Legacy looking to try and get onto the point. They're already halfway through. Tung does go down. And, we'll see if anyone else wants to trickle on. Probably not the right choice if they do.
It's quite surprising that when it actually does work for Legacy, it's when the infra side is on for Blank. You would have thought the opposite. But regardless, Blank now are forced to sort of swap back over to standard Goats, or at least Sombra Goats. Noz having EMP so close here is really a breath of fresh air for Blank.
Yeah.
If they get the EMP out early, they win this fight pretty cleanly.
Oh, look
build
at that.
Their ults.
They'll get 4 of them in the EMP. It's going to allow Blank to build their ults, as you just said. Now the question is, yeah, the fight was over very quickly,
They didn't
right?
build that many. Like, they built 60% of the Earth Shatter, 40% of the Transcendence. That's really all. Like, I would have liked to have seen that actually go a little bit longer for Blank, if I'm honest. So that they could have soaked up some more damage.
Well, Legacy
giving those healers a bit more chance to build the support ults.
Legacy going to need to commit to this team lineup now, Jordan. With only 60 seconds remaining on the clock, they're not going to have enough time to build any sort of charge.
But they have what they need. They have self-destruct, they have EMP.
Yeah.
So obviously that's a great combo.
They
no
need
shield.
to make it work.
And the nano boost as well. Put that onto your Reinhardt.
Oh, that's a great EMP coming out. 4 captured out. Morton goes down to the self-destruct as well. Now Legacy need to follow this up with a number of quick picks. Already halfway onto the point, someone's going to have to contest. The question is who. They're going to get on all at the same time. Roro gets hacked up as well. Chase back goes down. Legacy playing this very well. And they will successfully complete 6 objectives in 3 rounds. Wow, we don't see this very often.
No, we don't. Gosh, okay, they've got 26 seconds. So they still have another opportunity.
Yeah.
If Blank can finish the map again. Quadruple overtime, Ben. Oh, what a dream.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been pretty good. Look, this is their time, Jordan. This is their time.
Yeah.
This is it. This is Legacy. If you're going to win a map against Blank, and to be fair, I kind of talked you up a little bit, so don't let me down. This is the time. But Blank, to be fair, wasted a lot of time.
Yeah.
Wasted a lot of Legacy's time. It was a great change-up. It took Legacy quite a while to really work through what they needed to do. To their credit, they were successful in the end. But success is relative, I suppose.
This might be their best chance. I mean, Kings Row didn't look like they really had a chance there. And obviously, Lijiang Tower didn't look like that.
Didn't look like much at all, no.
So this has been better from Legacy. Well, okay, we're back to the Sombra Goats matchup, which also, if we think back to Kings Row, did end up favouring Blank, but did come off some big individual plays, and that was Roro with the shield
bash. So if Blank
bash.
come out here, do they just immediately swap back across to Farah? Like, once you realise there's no Ana?
I don't know, maybe not, because Noosh can get some hacks onto the Farah from the high ground around the point, if he's lucky, if he's smart. So that also is something to think about. You know, it's not as easy to use the Farah, although Roro will go back onto it.
Yeah.
And Noosh, where did he get picked from? How has that happened?
Woo.
That's bad.
Yeah, that is definitely
There's
less
going
than
to be a go signal
ideal.
for Blank.
Yeah, Blank going to charge on him. And just what we saw before, Nox going to be able to walk onto the point and start contesting. I think they're going to get... They had two players here before. Trying to get the hack onto Stolen. Picnic.
Stolen does have a habit of 1v1ing Sombras and winning, so...
You can see this Legacy lineup kind of split up as well. Half of them trying to deal with Nox on the point. The other half getting picked up from behind. And it's a very quick fight win here for Blank onto the first objective. Legacy going to need to get out of town and get onto the second objective to try and defend that one.
They're going to stagger
Ike is staggered, yeah.
But probably not as long as they needed to for it to actually make a difference. They would have just left him there and run to point B. They maybe could have made that happen, right? Because they don't have a Lucia, so they don't have speed boost. But look at what Legacy's working with on defense here. Blank can take a dry fight, build their ults, and then literally win the next fight and have heaps of time.
And they're going to force them to contest the point as well. That's Nox on the point. We've seen it time and time again. Roro sitting back with the Farah.
EMP's up soon. That'll be the difference maker.
Oh,
and Mo
goes down to Tongue. Yeah, you can't afford to be losing that battle, unfortunately.
He's smashing him, dude.
Yeah. EMP available for Nox, and as soon as I think it was the shield bash dissipates there, the EMP does come out. And look at this, very close to 100% on the point. The grab comes through, but you need to contest. You just can't throw a black hole onto there and hope for the best. And this time around, Blank going to find themselves with a considerable advantage.
Yes. Okay. Well, it's going to go back up to a minute for Legacy, which obviously gives Blank a little bit more time to work with.
Initiating match.
I don't know what to say about this game, Ben. We're at that point where I feel like everything that could be said has been said, and now we just have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, okay.
I still favour Blank if they continue to go with those DPS compositions. But in the Goats v Goats, it does seem like Legacy has a really good fighting chance.
Ready for battle.
So is this the same lineup except with Roro on Farah?
No, because Kuro would have been on the Lucio. I don't think Nox has actually played Sombra on defense yet.
Right. So essentially, it's not nearly the same, but we are still seeing the Winston coming out from Morton on defense.
That's correct.
So
remember last defense, Blank just played quad DPS. So I guess we did see Nox on Sombra, but it wasn't Sombra in this composition.
No.
Very strange.
Well, 60 seconds on the clock here for Legacy.
Everyone's kind of like dug their hand in the cookie jar and they're just pulling out a bunch of stuff and hoping for the best.
Well, it's a jar that's not necessarily full of cookies, I suppose, John. It's all sorts of different things.
I love this, just watching teams go back to Sport and swap.
Literally, they've got 60 seconds to work with, and they're gone, you know what, we're going to play
Well, you want to
goats.
make those 60 seconds count, because realistically
Yeah.
on Horizon Lunar Colony, you probably only get one good fight. Whether you fight at 45 seconds or whether you fight at 10 seconds left. You're probably not going to get back for that second fight anyway.
Yeah.
So Legacy want to make sure they have the composition that they're going to use.
It's too late to deal with Roro now as well. They're going to have to commit to this, Jordan. And a lot of free damage coming out here from the sky. Roro already up to 40% on the rocket barrage. 14 seconds remain. Legacy, to be fair, still have 6 players left, but so do Blank. This first pick is going to be so very important, and it could be on to Mo. Mo is low, but no, it's Morton who goes down. That's the first one out. Legacy finding what they need to here, Jordan.
Rocket Barrage and Trance will be up soon for Blank. It might be still winnable, this fight, if they decide to commit to it. But it's going to have to be a big balls play from Roro.
We talked about making the fight last as long as possible, and it goes down. Roro found out by Rani, and now they're going to have 30 seconds more to get to the second objective.
Mace.
The EMP's not up yet.
The mace to the face onto a Farah. That's like a midi. He's hit a midi with Brigitte. What an absolute beast. 15 seconds. It's winnable now for Legacy.
The place. It's mace to the face, Jordan.
EMP, Rocket Barrage, Transcendence. It's too much, I think, to get through.
1, 2, 3, 4 players caught out by the EMP, combined with the Rocket Barrage. Finding out 2 tanks here. This might be too much to ask from Legacy to capture the second objective, but they're going to do their best.
Oh, they're still in this one, Ben. There's a few players left alive.
42.7% right now, but Roro is in the sky, and no one is dealing with the air power.
If Legacy would have been able to keep Stolen alive, he didn't quite have enough time to get out of the EMP. And he could have gotten that sound barrier off. There might have been something in it for them. But still, I think that's better than what you could have hoped for Legacy. They get the tick on the second point.
Yeah.
They get the first point, obviously. 42.7%. And Blank have got 2.5 minutes.
We're not going to get a draw.
That's true.
What are the chances of them getting 42.7%?
I don't think you can draw when it's like that. Is it 42.7 that they'd have to get, or 42.6? I don't know. Like, is 42.7 the win, or is that what Legacy got?
I think that's what Legacy got.
So they need 42.8.
Their score is 42.7% on 7 objectives and 42.7% of the 8th. This game has gone on so long, I actually don't think it's my birthday anymore.
Ready for battle.
Well,
maybe time goes quickly when you're old, Jordan. I'm not sure, but
it does actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard about that. But you learn less when you're old.
Really?
And
explains a lot, doesn't it?
Well, because everything you see when you're a baby is new.
Yeah.
So time goes a lot slower because you're experiencing new things. But time feels like it goes slower because you're experiencing new things. But when you get older, you sort of, everything you just take
but what
for
if
granted.
you've got 2 babies, and one baby is on Earth, and one baby is on a very fast rocket ship going really quickly?
Right. I don't think that makes a difference.
No, but it does.
It's your experience of time, not time itself. Idiot. God.
Are you new, mate? Okay, so we've got 2.5 minutes for Blank to decide what they actually want to play. Legacy, well, Mo's going to be out on the Moira as well. So, interesting. No Zenyatta. No Sombra either, I suppose, here for Legacy. So, over the course of 2 minutes, you'd like to think that Blank's going to be able to capture the first objective, and Nox straight on to the point, but we'll go down to Ike. And if they don't counter this with any sort of damage very early on, it's going to be another 30 seconds wasted here by Blank.
Time wasted is time gained for Legacy.
But is it time on a rocket ship or not?
I don't know.
And are they babies?
Well, Legacy
Morton,
definitely doing a good job at the moment.
Morton doing what Morton can to try and get the ultimate up as quickly as possible, but really struggling, I feel.
Real talk, the thing here for Legacy is ensuring that they stay healthy, because as soon as this rocket barrage comes up, that is going to be where the difference is made. But if the barrage doesn't get anything, Legacy, if they stay healthy now, they can push back, recontest, and take a strong fight.
Particularly behind Mo on the Moira as well, Jordan. As we know, you can try and deal with the Farah as well with the Coalescence, potentially. They're doing a pretty good job. And serious opportunity for Legacy to hold strong in the first objective.
It's looking like it. EMP may be the difference maker here, though. Nox is just about to get that one up, and look at how close together Legacy is.
Look, counters 4 out of the 6 here for the sound barrier as well. Noosh about to have the self-destruct. Tongue finds Fundray. That's a big pick. Noosh has the self-destruct, and with Mo going down, the question is now, do Legacy just fall back here?
I think they fall back. I think you give this one up. You've got a Graviton Surge. You've got a self-destruct. You have a rally. Coalescence will be up soon as well for Legacy. This fight is absolutely lost, but the next fight certainly is winnable.
So what is Ike doing? Is Ike looking for, like,
he has to die here. He has to just go down and die. But he's just buying time, right? He's buying another couple of seconds there. Puts a little bit more pressure onto Blank. He'll respawn before Blank gets onto this point anyway.
50 seconds on the clock to find.
If Noz gets a grab beat here, Blank can probably win off that. But if not, Legacy with that big combo, the self-destruct Graviton Surge combo.
Oh, look at this. Roro throws it out, but it's not.
Oh,
no, he does. He finds Fundray. That's a huge pick. What can Legacy do? Modern's also got the Primal Rage, Jordan. Ike's forced back out. Self-destruct comes through. It's one apiece. I'd rather have my Diva, to be perfectly honest. 19 seconds.
Respawns for Legacy.
For 43%. Mo takes down Roro. Roro may not get back in time as well now. Noosh on the point. EMP comes through from Nox. I don't know if they're going to have enough. Fundray goes down again to Tongue. Stolen picnic low. Transcendence going to come out from Tongue on the point. Into overtime. This is the final fight. Can Legacy find themselves a map?
Fundray has
it's
shatter.
Looking less and less likely. He's going to need some epic shatter from the Reinhardt here. Needs to throw it out. Captures a number. This could be it. Ike's found 2 as well. Roro could go down. The last hope here for Blank Esports. Can Legacy bring it back?
They can, Ben. They certainly can.
Oh my goodness.
And that's going to be Legacy with a win on the board up against Blank. And I said it wasn't going to happen. Guess who proved me wrong? It was a very, very long affair indeed.
Wow.
But that'll be going the way of Legacy. So nicely done. You've got to be impressed by that.
Talking about, that was a massive grind out there.
It was a grind. And that was also a massive shatter at the end from Fundray. You could see how long he waited. I was saying, you need to wait for this Winston bubble, because that Winston bubble is exactly what was keeping Blank in a position where they couldn't get shattered. As soon as it goes away, it had been there for a while. By the time Fundray got there, he's really smart to wait it out, gets a massive shatter, because there's nothing that can stop it at that point, that late in the fight. Even though then the EMP comes down, obviously the respawn advantage, very favorable for Legacy there. That's what kept them in point B. But they end up winning the map, so you got to give them credit.
Yeah, that was incredibly close the entire time. A lot of good plays. And the best thing about that, for me, about that win for Legacy, Jordan, is that so often you can go back and look at individual moments, say, well, the reason that they won this map is that they had this great play on the first objective and their opponents didn't manage to push through. But this was so many good plays, consistent plays. It's to win a map that goes for so long, you have to be consistent, and I think that speaks so much to what we've seen from Legacy across the season. Even if they haven't got the results they wanted, the matches they played have still looked good, and now they have potential here to make this 2-2.
Yeah, look, it's really impressive from Legacy to be able to get a map off of Blank. Not many teams have been able to do that this season. Even Melbourne Mavericks was only able to get a map last week against Blank. So I'm not going to necessarily say that I think Legacy is as strong as Melbourne Mavericks at this point, but they are really showing good signs in their first season of Overwatch Contenders. It's really impressive, and I'm actually super glad to see it as well, because that's kind of what the whole point of this is about, is to be elevating those lower tier teams into Contenders and seeing what they can do, improving from there. And the fact that it goes back down to the 8 teams, you want to see competitive games from your worst team versus your best team. And in this case, going into the season, you definitely would make the argument that Legacy or Mindfreak was the weakest team on paper, and Blank potentially could have been one of the strongest. And to be able to see such a close sort of game between that disparity of teams is exactly what you want to see out of Overwatch Contenders.
Yeah, it's actually super exciting. I don't even know what the scores there. I've written it down as 19 points to Legacy, 18 points to Blank. I think that's entirely incorrect, but that's what it felt like. That's what it felt like to me. So either way, Jordan, we're going to head across to Junkertown now, and potential for Legacy to tie this up. That seems unlikely.
You say that, Ben. You say that, Ben. But what we have to remember is we're going back
Yeah.
onto Junkertown, which is a map that I think favors Blank a lot more than Legacy. Legacy
Alright.
have more advantages, or more advantage than on Junkertown on Horizon Lunar Colony, because the predominant team composition in this case would be GOATs, right, on Horizon Lunar Colony. Not the case on Junkertown, at least not for the first point. You could argue second and third phases of the map, yes. But if you can't get through the first phase of the map, or if Blank just absolutely blitzes you on the first phase of the map and uses that momentum to finish off the map, as you tend to see sometimes on Escort, I think that is going to be a little bit more difficult for Legacy to negotiate than Horizon Lunar Colony, where Blank is a little bit more constrained on Horizon Lunar Colony. So they're a bit freer now.
I can't help but feel that this is the best looking team that's come from trials that we've seen in Contenders. Certainly when you talk about teams that were relatively unknown before them.
Yeah.
Yes, they're, you know...
Well, the only other one really in that case would have been Mindfreak last season, right?
Yeah.
It's the same sort of a situation.
Yeah.
But I think I would agree with you.
This
I
feels
think
stronger than what we saw from Mindfreak, to me.
their performances have been better
Yeah.
over a long course of the season.
And they're going up against more difficult teams. You don't have, you know, the rest of those teams sitting 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, right? You're only playing teams that are theoretically better than you.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's actually been a very impressive run so far from Legacy, even if they're not sitting up the top of the leaderboard. But Blank here coming out to start things off. Jordan, double sniper set up from them. And they're definitely making the most of it here. The payload very quickly moving towards the first checkpoint.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Blank is just going to run out here with their DPS compositions in the first phase of the map, use the momentum to charge some ultimates up. Now, question for me becomes, like, Blank now, do they swap off? They don't really have a huge amount of ult charge built up here. I think it might be worth swapping off onto GOATs. With that said, like, we know that the GOATs for Legacy has been better than their versus DPS.
Very aggressive push coming out from Legacy. One last chance to try and hold the point, and it looked like they were going to position poorly, but they played it okay. They can see Roro on the far side, though. Firing in the off angle, and now they're in a bad spot. But Mo has done well to find Roro, but Kura going to use the resurrection to bring him back up. Look, they're pushing a long way forward. Oh, whoop. There's the Dragon Strike. This could catch them off guard. The Transcendence keeping most of the team alive. Supercharger now coming out. Supercharger, I was going to say, in combination with the whole Hog, is actually quite devastating Elfishguy.
Wow! That is a good fearless tongue there. That right click onto Mo. Oof.
Yeah.
Anyway, now, like I said, going back to that question about the GOATs, I might have jumped the gun a little bit there because Blank didn't actually get the cap that quickly, but it does look like they are going to go back onto GOATs, which I think is probably the correct decision. With that said, though, that was all under the assumption that Blank got the point straight away, and Legacy had only just swapped off there. But now Legacy have had that whole last fight, even though they lost it, to build ultimates. So they'll have a much easier time of defending here on point B than Blank will on attacking.
And we saw that they do look a little bit more comfortable when they have that ultimate advantage. And, you know, they've been playing a reasonable game in that scenario as well. The self-destruct coming through, not really doing anything. This one from Noosh.
I'm not sure that's going to do
Not really
much.
that great either, to be perfectly honest. But Kura, the first one down. But Fundray perhaps overextends. Morton finds the pick. Graviton Surge. Blank need to follow, Legacy need to follow that with damage, and they do so convincingly. So again, they're going to be able to extend this advantage just a little bit. Fundray, Mo, Stolen Picnic, all going to have ultimates.
Yeah, and a really good stagger as well.
Yeah. Nice.
And I like it from Legacy. Like you say, the ult economy, rotating through those ultimates, really important here. Blank will be coming up on quite a number of them very soon. This next fight will be pretty explosive. If Legacy actually want to win the fight, they need to do it early. Otherwise, Blank will start to lap them a little bit in terms of the ults and catch up.
Fundray sitting on this shatter as well. Need to be careful. Looking for good timing. It's difficult between the shield and the Zarya bubble. Oh, dear.
And it got cancelled by Morton's shatter as well. That feels bad.
Yeah, all of the things combining. Great play from Blank. Leaving Fundray with
Stolen
very
still has
little
barrier.
position to maneuver through. Noosh going to get forced back there by Nox, who's going to...
Nice. That's a fantastic sound barrier. Look how low Fundray was.
Yeah, great work. Grab Surge coming through, but they will be able to follow it up with a couple of picks. Fundray finds one, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. They need to find another pick very, very quickly. Could it be Tung or Roro? No, it's going to be Fundre.
Oh, Ike's still in there. It's the kill onto Roro, and Mo finds Nox. So this is a bit of a resurgence from Legacy. You haven't dealt with the Zaya. There's still going to be a lot of damage being pumped out, and that is exactly the case. Ike forces them back alongside, well, the rest of his teammates, who were pretty much all supports.
Oh man, this Legacy lineup is looking better than they should.
This is true. No, that's not true. They're not looking better than they should, because as a Contenders team, you should look this good.
Yeah, but that's not what we've come to expect, I suppose, is it? Like,
Oh, maybe it's a welcome change.
I'm loving the new 8-team format.
I agree.
So, Blank going to go all the way around the outside. Going to come back through from this high ground instead. And we'll be able to pick the payload up from the front. It's going to force Legacy to push on and
break the shield.
Test, yeah.
That's what Legacy is saying right now. Break the shield, because Fundre has the shadow.
Oh,
the
that's
maiden
a
switch.
decent one. Catches Kura. Tongue comes through with the Transcendence, but Legacy is sitting on 2 more ultimates, including the hole-in-one, Jordan. It will not matter. Noz comes through, finds 2 big picks.
I
The
think
payload is going to start moving now for Blank.
Yeah, for Legacy, they just maybe try and hold the payload here for as long as possible. They might be able to get back in position for another fight. Solomon Picnic will be able to obviously boost them all the way to the point. I think there is actually chance for one more fight here for Legacy on point B, which is really good. Because like you say, they have got the combo. Or at the very least, what they'll be able to do is waste some of the ults that Blank have got right now. Because there is a big advantage for the attacking side. Andre drops down.
The grab aggressively coming out. Actually, both teams dropping a grab self-destruct from Noz. Here's the counter, the defensive self-destruct coming through. Not going to find anyone. Ike's gone down to Noz as well.
Andre has Shatter again.
Oh, big Shatter. This actually could turn the fight around, Elfishguy.
It does. It certainly does.
Wow. Great play. Fundre has
22
had
seconds for Blank.
a pretty good game so far.
Yeah. Okay, hang on. Now this is where it gets interesting.
There is definitely no way that Legacy can get 1 map, let alone 2. My name is Elfishguy.
We still haven't seen the second half
Yeah,
of this
okay.
game.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just reminding everyone.
All right.
In your voice.
They're going to be able to get the touch.
Yeah, they will.
It's
going to be Kura onto the point, trying to boop everyone up. This could be an important fight. Well, it is an important fight for Blank. Tongue still has a Transcendence. But Morton goes down somehow to Mo in amongst all of that. That was the last thing I expected to see.
Oh,
that's a shatter coming out as well. It only catches...
Fundre shatters and dies.
Yeah, shatters and dies. Exactly right.
Then a more dynamic duo. But it's going to be enough for Legacy to win the fight anyway, one would assume. Nox will have a grab shortly if he survives, but I think he might almost be on his own now. Roro with the trance.
Yeah, look, it's I can't even see what's going on in amongst all of this Elfishguy. But they're off the payload. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
All right. Now we have a game. Come on.
0 to 1.
Imagine
Sides.
losing 4-0 to ground 0. Yet now going up against up against Blank. And being this close to going in to the tiebreaker.
I wouldn't be feeling too good if I'm Blank right now, to be honest, because Legacy actually looked really solid on that defense in Phase B. The real hanging point for me here is that it's Phase A that is really the big advantage for Blank, because they have that room to work with.
Yep.
Now, the question becomes for Blank, right? Do we play that DPS composition and gamble? It is a gamble that we win on Phase A, because if they play the DPS composition and then they lose Phase A, 100% they're losing Phase B as well.
Well, I can't help but feel that I don't think they can win the first phase like that, because we've seen that Legacy have been able to adapt. It takes them time.
But that's because they've been playing on maps where Blank hasn't been able to have that flexibility to move around.
They don't have the room to move.
That's right.
Yeah.
But
they're playing on the indoor court instead of the outdoor court.
Exactly. Now we're definitely on the outdoor court. So look at this composition, right, from Blank. I think it's a gamble. It's a risk versus reward, right? So the risk is if we lose, we lose horribly.
Yeah.
Because we have to swap onto Goats for Phase B, and Legacy doesn't, because they assumably would already be on Goats. But the reward would be we win on Phase A. So, for Blank, they're actually going to go up against a mirror match, which is surprising to me. Legacy, I would have thought, would have stayed, or would have preferred to stay on the Goats composition. But this may actually favour Blank. now that they have to go up against the DPS compositions, because it has felt to me like Ike has been losing the Widow duels throughout today.
No, I can't help but agree, though the shield might play in Ike's favour.
That's a great hook.
Nice work.
Oh.
Great hook, great halt, great kill onto Tongue. Now if they can just find Nox as well. Well, it's Roro onto Rani. And Roro looking for another. Stolen Picnic, going to pick them back up. The payload's getting a very long way down the track here, Jordan.
Yeah, but this is where it may start to stall. Roro around the back. Rani is on top of him, but it's actually Roro to get the advantage. Roro with the flank does get the big impact play that was necessary. And now it becomes really tough. Well, I don't know. I don't know what Legacy's mindset would be, but it looks like they will.
Goats.
I think that's the correct decision, I'll be honest.
Because they're going to have time now. They have so much time. They got essentially so much free room on the first attempt that they can get their ultimates up, and if they get through...
But this is all assuming that they win.
Yes.
Here.
Yes. Well, they've got 2.5 minutes to win. It's
kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
2.5 minutes and no Roro on fire up. So they're going to make the change of Mo here onto the Moira once again, which seems to be they're a little bit more comfortable with that as well. Dragon Strike could stop this in its tracks.
See through the dragon's eyes.
So this is smart from Legacy, just waiting for the shield to build back up. This is their last real bit of substantial cover that they can use.
So you have to have...
So now they have to commit to this fight.
Yes, they do indeed, and the Dragon Strike has enough to ruin it in one. Looking for picks, but it's not going to really find anyone, and Tongue's already gone down. Ike finds another. This is going Legacy's way. Roro forced back, low on HP. Oh my goodness, this is very much going Legacy's way.
Don't even have to use any ults either. That is a big problem for Blank. The thing is, like, when Legacy is playing this GOATS composition, the one thing that Blank needs to ensure that they do is get picks before Legacy can close the distance.
The swap off here by Blank Jordan heading into the second phase. And now Legacy are going to be a long way ahead. The only change they're making is that Mo has swapped across to Zenyatta off the Moira.
Yeah, but it's going to take at least 2 fights to win this here for Legacy, which means that Blank probably charges the ults before the second. Especially if they win this first one.
Particularly if they win.
Look at Morton's charge. He's already got an ult. He's charged it faster than Fundray has.
Wow.
And Fundray's had like probably an extra 2 or 3 minutes. That is definitely a bad fight to lose for Legacy because it swings the momentum straight back in the favor of Blank when really it should have been with Legacy.
Wow. Very unexpected, but
Still
some good
3 minutes.
plays here from the Blank team. But they're certainly feeling the pressure now, and Legacy finds themselves in a position they're probably not used to, Jordan. Being ahead on a map against a team that should theoretically be considerably better than them. Self-destruct comes through. Ike goes down again very early in the fight.
Now.
Fundray trades it back. You need that very quick trade as well, but Fundray goes low, kept alive somehow. There's line of sight there as well. Self-destruct, Tongue gonna pop the Transcendence. Now all of the ultimates have been used here by both teams.
Grav's coming up for both as well pretty quickly.
Mo's
and
gonna
each
have
will
a
have a
trans.
support ultimate.
Yeah.
That's a great pick.
Morton goes down to Fundray, and if Legacy can find one more pick, Jordan, this is going to put them on the road to success.
If I can hold Grav here, it's going to be massive for the next fight, which he will be able to do.
Fundray's found 3 picks then as the Reinhardt.
And that's really good as well because it gives them the Earth Shudder in the next fight. Problem though is, Mo had to use the trance in there. And now Nox has a Grav and Legacy don't have support ultimates. So this next fight, I say actually probably favors Blank unless Legacy starts it on their own terms and gets the first
Do you throw the grab up right there? Do you just throw it into them?
Probably easy to eat as the Diva.
Oh, Sound Barrier going to try and counter the grab, looking for a lot of damage here from Legacy. Blank trying to stay
Where's
alive.
Nox's
Now
grab?
they have the ultimates on their side. Nox has a grab, Tongue has a Transcendence as well, and Legacy are going to fall short, 140 on the clock.
Yeah, that's fine, I think. It was expected that Blank would win this fight based on what we saw from the ults, but it has also swung the ult economy back in the favor of Legacy here. You got a self-destruct, you got a Sound Barrier. Probably a Transcendence shortly for Mo as well. So with the self-destruct can buy enough space for Legacy in here. You can make the same argument though for Blanks. They have one on the defense. But I think the double support ultimate for Legacy is going to come up just a bit quicker than it will for Blank. It all really comes down to timing and value out of your ults right now as Legacy. You've got one more fight left after this one, I guess, if you're lucky. This is probably the last one. This is probably the last good fight for Legacy. They need to make sure they make this one work.
60 seconds
This
remain.
is going to feed a lot of charge over to Nox as well.
Well, the charge comes through. Morton forced back. He's 90%, almost up to that shatter as well. It could stop them in their tracks. Fundre doesn't have his up yet, and somehow Noz manages to find, did a shield bash or something come through. Nice work from Rani. Sorry, nice work from Roro, should I say.
Should disengage this one now.
Yeah, they're running out of time here, Jordan.
It's fine. They still have enough time to get back on. 30 seconds is plenty. They do use the sound barrier and the rally in there. So sound barrier, obviously a big one to lose. Rally, maybe not so much.
Payload is 4 meters short of success.
It's 2 support ultimates for Blank on the defense now. It's going to be tough to chop through that as Legacy, but luckily the grab is coming up, so self-destruct grab combo is there for Legacy, but not for Blank.
Someone's going to have to get on the payload as well, running out of time, 5 seconds, grab comes through, going to follow it up with damage. There's someone on the payload, we can see that stolen picnic, potential from the boot from behind as well, but Gura finds the pick, Fundre with the shatter, only hits tongue. And this is not looking good now. That's a better trade. Morton goes down. Fundre finds Roro. They're on the payload. Ever closer. It's going to start moving. We're into overtime. Blank needs to hold here to secure the victory. Otherwise, we're heading into the tiebreaker. Legacy in prime position. The respawn's going to be coming out. Blank is swapping across to fast-moving heroes. It's going to be Morton coming through in the nick of time onto the Wrecking Ball, but it's going to be an exploding Wrecking Ball in just a second.
Oh, you say that, but he's actually managed to get out. Oh no, he does go down to Noosh. Nicely done. And Roro trying to buy time for his teammates to get across here, but Ben, I think it's lost. I don't think Blank is going to be able to hold here. Luckily for Legacy, when they lost their first player in that fight, it was stolen, and I thought that was going to lose Legacy the game. I thought Stolen's overcommitted a little bit here. He's going to go down, and then they're going to have to fight 5v6 and they're going to lose. But they still won. They managed to keep that fight going long enough that Stolen rejoins the fight so quickly because he's on the Lucio. And then...
Can we just...
2-2.
To 20 minutes ago. Elfishguy, do you think that Legacy have a chance of winning 1, let alone 2 maps? Oh no, they definitely, like, it's not going to happen. There is no chance that Legacy is even going to win 1 map.
I will continue to back up my point. I don't think Legacy should have won these maps. Well, no. Okay, now I have to... That's not fair. That's not fair on Legacy. I want to retract that. But Blank will be very disappointed to have lost these 2 maps. Let's put it like that, okay?
Yeah.
Blank, the team that has looked so good this season, to now be losing like this to Legacy, who should be a lot weaker than them, obviously speaks volumes to the strength of Legacy. But Blank, yeah, I'm not going to say they're looking lost, but they definitely are struggling here against Legacy in a fashion in which I would never have foreseen.
It is quite surprising, and we're going now to our first tiebreaker of the season, Jordan. And of all the games, it's a surprise to see it Blank up against Legacy, but it's exciting as well to see that Legacy have come so far in the last 4 weeks.
I mean, you want to really see Legacy win this series now, don't you? Like, you don't want to see the 2-2, the comeback, what looks like the reverse sweep.
Wow.
And then Blank just absolutely smashes Oasis 2-0 here, and
well,
it's like all
that's
for naught.
Actually very much on the cards.
I think
Oasis, half the time you're outdoors, right? Roro has the potential to run free, but I feel that Legacy has also learnt a lot across the last 6 hours of gameplay that we've just seen from them.
Yeah. Now, this is where the hands are going to get a bit shaky and a bit sweaty, I think, as Legacy.
Mum spaghetti, yeah.
Blank definitely have a lot more experience in Overwatch Contenders. This probably isn't as big of a deal in their mind as it is for Legacy, who they've made those 2 last maps really work.
Yeah.
But this is where it all comes down to. Like, this is the pressure moment, right? If you lose on Junkertown, it's like, oh, okay, we lost. That's expected, I suppose. But now you've managed to make it to the tiebreaker. And Blank's going to be running quad DPS. Legacy, they did well to deal with it on Junkertown.
Yeah.
But this point in particular, I think, is basically the perfect point for quad DPS.
Well, Mo with the last minute swap back across to the Zenyatta. So no Ana, no Moira. And
Roro's 1 HP.
oh, the heals, but not enough damage. No,
Nice
the
shot
damage
from
does
Mo.
come through, and it's Mo in the end getting the better of Roro. The point will unlock, but Morton's found a couple, and Kura going to pick Roro back up by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, Ike probably shouldn't have gone down there like that. But it'll be the point for Blank. Obviously, the res was available for them as well, so Roro didn't even have to respawn. But this is like where Blank, if they're going to 100-0 on any of these rounds of Oasis, it should be here on City Centre.
Yes, it should. Yes, it should. Mo now up to 50%, looking for a change. We're going to see a change.
Ooh.
So a little bit unlucky.
Hey, he got the translocator.
A little bit unlucky, to be honest, because I think Mo was about to come out with the Ana to begin with. Made a last-minute choice to swap across, and Roro straight on to his nemesis there. So this fight's already over, it feels like, before it even begins.
This is what I was really afraid was going to happen for Legacy.
Yeah.
You almost feel the hope starting to drain away a little bit. So you, in theory, you have to reverse sweep the series, and then now you have to probably reverse sweep Oasis as well.
Yeah. Well, City Centre, and again, Roro is like, I am not dealing with this Ana, except as you come out of spawn. Like, that's, I'm going to target you over and over, so I do not have to worry about you later.
I feel so bad for Legacy, because it just couldn't have been a worse, it could not have been a worse point for them to start off on Oasis, could it?
Oh, man. Yeah, it's certainly going to stem the flow here, isn't it?
It really has. Like Legacy, think how slow they have been. They have not even had a fight. They had one fight, the starting fight, the initial first fight, and since then it's just been them getting picked. Yeah. 6 ultimates for Blank in this next one.
Yes, it is. And the EMP is going to be the first one used. Roro immediately combines it with the barrage, but will go down. You can see the Ike has made a swap as well across to the McCree to try and deal with this Farah, which is, to be fair, the right swap, but not the team comp that they have been playing. And it's going to be a quick 100-0 by the looks. Look, there's literally nothing that Legacy does here, I think. It's a very difficult situation for them.
It is. It truly is. Couldn't have been worse, really. But EMP is out here from Blank. But still, Legacy's winning the fight.
Look.
Maybe there's a chance.
Maybe there's a chance, Jordan. Oh, let's not do what we did last week, that's for sure. Ike needs...
Kill that Mercy.
There we go. All right, 99.
Let's go.
Up on the board.
I'm ready. I'm cheering for a Legacy win. Hashtag no bias.
You can't cheer for Legacy because when you say they're going to lose, they win. So you're going to cast as
I'm allowed to say that I think they're going to lose, but still enjoy it when they win. I think that's the best kind because it means they're exceeding my expectations.
Yeah, right. Never exceed my expectations, John. Always a disappointment. Anyway.
I see how it is. Wow.
Anyway.
That was harsh.
There you know how I feel. Legacy's sitting on a few ultimates, so this is look, if they win this, if they win City Centre here on Oasis.
Oh, look at this EMP, dude.
Oh, here we go. This time, there's not going to be any sort of shield bash. Follow that up with a Deadeye. Only finds 1. I thought there was going to be 5 going down there to Ike, and, well, Blake have to do. This is the most bizarre game of Contenders I have seen in a very long time.
That was actually sick. But I don't know that Legacy planned it like that, but it was cool. Anyway, Legacy don't have that many ults now. God, are they going to win this? Ronnie's asleep.
Are you ready for...
Where is Ronnie asleep?
Are you ready?
Oh, no. How's that happened?
Ready for Mo onto Fundray with the nano boost onto the Wrecking Ball.
That might be the death that really is going to tip the tables for Legacy, unfortunately, I think.
And Ike goes down as well to Noz. The nano boost going to come out. Self-destruct from Nooch needs to find numbers. Not going to be the case. They're up to 80%, but unfortunately for Legacy with Blank at 99, 1 fight win will be enough to get them City Centre here, and well, that's precisely what Blank are doing.
The one benefit for Legacy is that at least this point is very, very easy to stall on. So, what? No, they got off! You can't, oh, come on. Just as I'm saying, it's easy to stall on.
Yeah, well...
I don't know about that minefield as well.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I guess it's kind of difficult, though, because you have to pick one side, right? So,
But the idea is you would throw the minefield, then pile driver, and they land in the mines.
Yeah, Mo goes down to Noz, and Blank going to win this fight by the looks of things. A few picks going their way, all of the picks going their way.
Well, that is unfortunate because that was really looking like it could have been something. I don't know how that sleep hits the Sombra there. I guess he's trying to get the pick onto the Ana, but in that situation, you probably don't want to be trying to get that pick onto the Ana because it was so close to the spawn doors that no one can help out. Anyway, I'm really nitpicking, I suppose, at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, at the very least, though, Legacy slowed down the momentum there from Blank because it looked like it was going to be an easy 100-0. Blank's just going to clean them up, janitorial duties, no problems. But now Legacy, they get about 99%, 94%, I think it was. Doesn't matter. Moving on to the second point, much more favorable for them to play the GOATS compositions, which is, again, where we've seen them be able to beat Blank. And these next 2 points, actually, aren't going to necessarily be as easy to play that quad DPS setup. So I do think there's a real good chance for Legacy, at the very least here, to bring it back to the third round. From there, well, that's the next question.
Yeah, well, Mo goes down first. Going to make life tough for Legacy. Rani follows suit. So, Blank going to win the first fight, and they'll get themselves the point, and a fair bit of ultimate charge as well to boot. So, this definitely makes it more difficult for Legacy. Blank could very much 2-0 here.
Yeah.
It's funnily enough, look, the maps that Blank have won, they've won convincingly, haven't they? So, of the two teams, Blank have definitely looked better.
Yeah.
The scoreboard is currently even.
I think whatever the case, Legacy can be very pleased and proud of what they've been able to achieve today, but how much further can they go? Can they actually beat Blank? It's not looking like it at the moment, as this next fight also favouring Blank.
Yeah.
Kuru getting that opening pick onto his counterpart stolen picnic.
Can't help but think that maybe Blank's realised, you know, we probably need to get going. Get a bit of a wriggle on here. Can't let this go any further. It's all fun and games until you lose a match.
It really does seem like a penny has dropped out, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Like, it's not looking like Horizon Colony or Junkertown where the fights are close. It's just seeming like Blank's like, okay, all right, boys, we've had our fun. Let them have their fun, really.
Yeah.
Let's finish this off. We know that we're the better team. Let's just be confident, take the fights that we see, and win them. And that's what Blank is doing right now. 6 ultimates, 50% already up on the board. You go back to Athletico versus Order on their control map. That's what this feels like right now.
Looking for a grab as well. Throws it through. So many ultimates for Blank to work with.
Oh.
And it's going to be Noz with the self-destruct. So, 65% now. Blank still sitting on 3 ultimates in the ultimate bank. Legacy, on the other hand, they're going to have 2. To be fair, they're the 2 that count.
Yeah. It's got to be so disheartening here as Legacy because you've done so much work to get back to this point and you're just getting smashed on Oasis. But they still have, I guess, at least this last fight. Graviton Surge, Self-Destruct. Hugely important for Legacy. Shadow was blocked. That's great.
Yeah, that's a start.
Grab is out.
Grab comes through. Self-Destruct in the middle as well.
Ooh,
and
the group was a good attempt. But now you've got 2 players down the bottom. Fundraise followed Stolen.
You're falling down into the toilet. You need to get back up.
I think he's just been flushed away, Ben.
Oh, dear. Fundray finds Ro.
Nice
Shadow comes through as well.
Ish.
Just knocks Noz down, I think. But look, this is definitely going to go to the way of Blank, and it's exactly what you feared, Jordan. It's going to be a quick 2-0 to Blank, but congratulations to Blank, 3 and 2. They managed to stop the reverse sweep from Legacy. They come away with a victory today, but it could have been a different story. Very surprising, really, to see this result. The 2 things, the main points, I guess, for me is a win is a win. Points on the board, congrats for Blank, but Legacy looking much better than what we gave them credit for at the start of the day. They've come a long way this season, and we're only halfway through.
Yeah, should have really been a 4-0 on paper there for Blank. I guess at worst, maybe even a 3-1. But the Legacy, very, very impressive today at the back end of things. I thought the first 2 maps were not quite. Kings Row, you could argue, maybe could have been a decent close game. But on the defense, things kind of went really poorly for
true, right?
Legacy.
Kings Row was actually kind of close. The 2 maps that were essentially runaways were the control point maps where for one reason or another,
Well,
Legacy seems to struggle.
So the control maps tend to be a little bit more like DM heavy, where you kind of have to be taking those brawls and those fights, and that is really what's going to favour Blank with those really impressive DPS players and the extra experience just in general. So, look, I think, like I said, Legacy today, they have to be very happy with what they've been able to do. No one so far has been able to get 2 maps off Blank. No one's taken them to the overtime just yet.
Yeah.
So, all in all, really, really good.
You have to kind of question now what that Order versus Blank match might look like when a team that's come through from trials can take them to,
that's what I'm
the
talking
tiebreaker.
about. Like, this is why when people are saying, okay, Blank's better than Order, or, you know, that kind of thing, I'm just thinking, I'm not so sure. Because, okay, we've seen Blank sort of beating up middle-of-the-pack teams with a weird composition. You could almost throw the word cheese in there. I don't want to... You know, I'm going to say it, but I'm not going to say it. Do you know what I mean?
All right.
So
you're going to
when push comes to shove,
it by saying it, but not actually saying it.
But when push comes to shove, when they're up against Sydney Drop Bears and when they're up against Order, is that going to work? And if it doesn't work, can they default back to anything else?
Yeah, correct. If you want to come 3rd, 4th at the end of the season, this is fine. Yeah. If you want to make it to the grand final, that's a different story.
You need to be able to do this against the best teams in the region, and I don't know if it will work. We have to wait and see.
Jordan, it's time for another Macca's play of the game. For me, I'm putting out there we play all of the Horizon Lunar Colony map. That's my Macca's play of the game.
We want to see that all again.
Let's take a look. A McDonald's Australia play of the game, Blank Esports up against Legacy Esports. Talk us through this one, Elfishguy. Look at this. Fundray goes for the shatter, gets knocked all the way back.
I mean, it's really the Boop and Morton's shatter that should be the play of the game here, really.
That's
honestly,
what it is. Kura coming through with a great boop.
Yeah.
And as soon as the shatter comes down, it's actually Fundray who gets hit by a shatter from Morton. It's a great timing, great teamwork. This particular match as well, we saw a lot of great teamwork across the board. Some very interesting plays, and that's what it comes down to, Overwatch being that team game. Yeah, and
again, Lucios are always the players that don't really get enough love for the plays that they make, because they're often pretty difficult to see just when you're watching that entire 6v6 fight. But when you slow it down, when you look at that, you can see the impact that that one right click from Kura has made for that entire fight. Potential for Fundray's Earth Shatter to hit quite a few there. That's cancelled by Kura. Then Modern's Earth Shatter is enabled by Kura's Boop. All that comes from just one right click from a Lucio.
Wow, great work. Easy, easy. So, not really.